Welcome back to my Dark Vengence Box set build. Last time I finished off all of the Imperial units, so this time we get Stark Chaos. So I'm just going to move all of these lot out, like where they're safe. Nah, I think I put them that way. Let's get them out the way of what we're building. Well, the single Chaos soldier has survived all this time, so I'm guessing they don't come to life while I'm not looking. Because, I mean, that many Imperials versus the one Chaos would definitely have been a problem. So, would anyone else like to make some noise? The boiler just started up for no reason whatsoever, so sorry about that. So yeah, nonsense aside, let's get going into this book, shall we? Oh, I haven't had this much noise in a while. Okay, so first up is okay, when I read the Chaos Space Marines, it was the whole title, not just the individual troop. So first up is Cranon, the Relentless Chaos Lord. Cranon? Maybe? Cranon? I don't know. But either way, I am looking for 9 through 13. Which is none of them. So they can go back over there. I'm taking a mild guess that it's that one, because that would make most sense, because that's the big nasty stuff. So 11 through 13, this one, well, there's 12, 13, 14, so we're one too late there. That's too early again. So yeah, I can take a guess that they're all here at this point. But if they're not, I will go back and cut them out somewhere else, wherever they came from. So let's start off with what we can find. So number 10, which is this really large cloak. There you go. Ooh, that is a heavy piece. So that's 10. So apparently it's 9 through 13. Whoops. So you're number 9. Big pointy horns. Yep, that's you. This one at no point specifies a order to put them on, so... Oof. Heck, these Chaos troops are heavy. $11. I think... Well, it is Chaos. Who'd notice an extra spike, right? 13, which is the pack, which is up here. And last off is the giant sword. So 12, which is... Wow, that is a spiky sword. Okay, and I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, that's the right amount of pieces. We're all good. Right. Let's hope my glue is still working. Now it does say it does not matter the order, so I'm going to continue with believing it doesn't. Oh, okay, there's a little circle on the back for the handholds there. So yeah, we can just work across these bits. Supposed to go on that side and aiming forwards like that. So assuming that the cape is on, of course. Okay, so it does fit. That pin is there intentionally. It's very important to figure that out when you're removing the leftover, because if it's not meant to be there, you'll mess up the whole model. If you don't, if it's not supposed to be there, and go across the body, make sure that we've got all the little bits off there. Wow, I just do not want to hold it in shot, do I? Okay, let's hope my glue works. It's been a few days. This one's the one that's been reliable so far, so... I think the other one comes out of a separate packet or something, and it's about 5 years old, so... The fact I could smell it the second I opened it is a good sign that it still works. So, it is definitely coming out. I'll give it that. Ow, 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 ow. Do not squeeze Chaos soldiers. Squeezing chaos units is a bad idea. So many sharp spikes. Okay, yep, that goes together. Okay, and have you facing towards the center of the plate because it makes sense. Now we just put a bit of glue on here. And a little bit in the socket. Go. And now it's a little gun. And we can put a little bit on here to give the sword somewhere to stand. Wow, this guy's like the size of the pad, isn't he? Ow. You may not be on properly, but you are on good enough. Now that should be able to stay like that. The size of these things surprises me pretty much every time, so just chuck you with it. Go back to number 1, and he's now officially stuck together. And people wondering when I'm going to paint them. Me paint. If you've seen my cosplay work, you will know how badly I paint. And that's on big stuff. I do not have the skill to paint these. Okay, so up next we have Drasnicht, I think. Yeah, okay. We have the chosen champion, who consists of 14, 15, 16, and 98. Yes, 98, because that makes sense. I'm assuming it's a common piece with a different model, that's why it's 98, but still funny. So you're number 14. 15 is a cloaky Bobby, so this one here will do. I'm always surprised by when they fall, it's just like boom. What the, where'd that come from? So 16. 16 is a head, so and then 98, which okay, so I have a feeling that 98 won't be on here because that sort of no. So I will go across to the others. Ow, ow, it's sharp. And 98. It says it's 98. Oh, okay, the little spike coming off the end isn't actually a spike. Okay. Oops. go, clean up a bit of the mess. I don't know why, it's chaos, no one could tell. I mean, even if, like, I didn't clean up the mess, how would you tell it's chaos? They are basically, like, just covered in spikes and mess. Ow, ow. Spike. I'm assuming after a while this, you just start growing calluses. Really hard to tell with the Imperials when you've got a bit of mess on the end. It's just like, oh, okay, there's a bit that isn't supposed to be there, we can take that off. But with Chaos, it's just like, well, unless it's the wrong colour because it's been distorted, you can't tell. Whoops. There is a head on this table somewhere. Let's have a look side on, shall we? There it is. Right. So next up, I mean, basically it's just assembled at this point. So glue in there, glue around there and there, and stick on the cape because Space Marines like capes, it turns out. Okay, this is gonna hurt. Ow! Ah. Ah, no blood. It's okay, if it was actually sharp, I wouldn't have squeezed. Fortunately, the front of this model is relatively blunt. It's just really detailed. Thankfully, none of them are spikes, so it's just unpleasant to squeeze instead of hazardous. Oh, that head is his hand. Ew. Ew. Well. Well, he is chaos, after all. Oh, it's his helmet. Okay. Those leg spikes are sharp. Okay, and we have another spiky brow, because heck, this one is spiky. I mean, the chest isn't so bad, but those on the leg, ow. Okay, so you join the army of spiky bros. And we can mark that one off. So, next up is not the first one I made, because we've made that one. I don't want to be silly now. Chosen with Power Fist is next. Feel free to insert jokes about that. I'm aware Power Fist is actually a weapon, but, you know. Okay, so next up I need 17 through 19 and 96. So as we know, 96 comes from this. There it is. Okay, 96 comes off the floor. Next up is number 17, which I'm assuming is on here, but yes it is. And 18 and 19, wherever they're hiding, I have to find them. Okay, so it's obviously not number 7, because number 7 is freaking huge. 18 is the second half, yes. So, ow. And 19, which is a sort of handy thing. There it is, 19. I mean, the designs for these pretty good, and good organization on them, as a set. I've had to do an absolute, well, I've had to do some modifications, but like the bare minimum. Oh wow, okay, only has like 2 fingers on this claw. Okay, and is it like an old Power Fist or something? Oh, it's the other half, the Power Claw and or Power Fist, and that's the reason. So he doesn't just have like 2 fingers. So we just stick that on. Just give them a light squishing, do not squeeze. I'm mostly saying don't squeeze for my benefit, because it ain't gonna hurt me if you lot do it. Okay, and that's squished together. I'm getting good at finding the spots without spikes for squeezy purposes. Now get back in. Okay, and there is the drying, far less spiky boy. To note, if anyone's interested, the problems today with this computer is the second I turned it on, the CPU is at 0 volts. Anyone who's aware of how computers work, no electricity means doesn't work. Okay, next up is Chosen with Lightning Claws. Is it just when you thought being chosen with a power fist was too unpleasant? To be fair, this one looks like it's about to hug someone. I'm going to be very disappointed later, aren't I, when I find out they're not about to hug. So 21 obviously is the claws. 20 and 96. I think we just had 96, didn't we? Yes, we did. Good thing we have 2 of them. Oop. And then we have 20. So we're looking for someone who looks like he's going to be hugging someone, and this one. Okay, now you go back over there. And of course we come down to this one. Take a little bit off the end of the fist. Let's get this little bit off the bottom. A little bit off the head. Oof. If anything, it makes my cuts look too good because they just fit in with the amount of spikiness on this one. I wonder if that was planned. Well, that one needed some work. Not much though, but some. Oh, and the back. Okay. Let's put a little bit in the back like that. Then... Oh wow, okay, now you've got like the back here to make contact with as well. Just be careful when squishing together not to squish the spikes into your hand. I keep saying it, but I keep squeezing, so I hope other people can listen better than I can. Because I certainly ain't listening. Oh, okay, that next one's a 98. I thought there was another 96. I was like, look, you're pushing your luck with 2 of them. You're not going to get 3. Come on, a little bit on the foot. Do your job right. Now this one's a real spiky boy. I mean, you can squeeze him if you want, but heck, you're gonna get spiked. I mean, well, he stands, it's fine. Next up is a chosen with a power axe. Ooh. And this one is 22 through 24 and 98. So that's number 98. Let's see if we can track down 22, shall we? It's 25. You're 22. Boop. Oh, that's your front. Ew. I was thinking that doesn't look like something that you could actually use, but okay. Right, 23 and 24. 23, oh, okay, so you're 23, which is the axe. And 24, oop, I missed one. Good enough. And 24 is up here. Now those ones are sufficiently small you can actually damage them. So you'd have to be careful of that, but let's just go across it a bit and finish it off. Drop down to 2. Just a little bit off there. And a little bit off there. My system for removing the bits left over from the screw is if it looks like it could belong on the model, I'll leave it there. If it's obviously not meant to be there, I'll remove it. Okay, grab one of these. Why is his gas mask attached to his gun? It seems to make very little sense. Certainly you'd be like attaching it to a filter cartridge or something. It's just squished down. And this one's a break from the normal order. So we just, again, put big glue on the back. Fortunately, these are some really good instructions, and they do actually tell you whether you need to put them on in an order or not. Do you have a peg to go in? Yeah. I mean, you do, but there you go. Oh wow, they just took the top of the helmet off? There you are. You may have a top of your helmet now. That seems to be the direction intended. Yeah, okay, that appears to be where they intended for it to go. So if we drop this on. It's actually worked pretty well. And we have a excessively spiky and skeletal boy this time. Ugh. I gotta say, this glue really is drying quick. I did not expect it to go that fast. Not that I'm gonna complain. So the next up is a chosen with bolt gun. Is it all of these chosen? No, the next up's cultists, so we in fact have two of these. So we've got two bases, and we need to find 94, 5 and 7. You do not appear to be on here, so evidently you'll be on the duplicate sheets. So 94, 5 and 7. So let's get the two 7s out, because they'll be the easiest to find. My competency's not in high standing around here, but put glue lid on. Came out eventually. Now 94, which is, wow, okay, 94 is pretty big. And the last one is 95, which is pretty big too. So we can put the duplicate one back, and then we can grab the next 94. If there's a group of 2 of them, I may as well do the 2 at once, right? It makes sense. But we do have a lot of these bases left over here. And a lot more than we would get for singles of what we have left. So I'm guessing that there's going to be a lot of duplicates going on. Or they've given me space. I don't know. Okay, let's put you over here and get the 2 duplicates of this so I know which one's which. Ow! Stabbing yourself in hand is never a good idea. Don't do it. So, ow. I gotta say, there's an upside to forgetting stuff and having to get up occasionally. Dead leg is far less of a problem. Wow, okay, that's a lot of excess material. I mean, a file is suitable for removing small amounts, but not like a big chunk of the sprue that's left over. Yeah, I did a bad job on that one. So let's get the bodies together first, shall we? So this is going to be this, the arm, and onto there. And into that giant crevasse that is made for the pin. Or socket, my apologies. And there you go. Little bit on the back. So we just sit you down there and get on with the other one. So it's again head, shoulders, hand, and giant hole in the chest. Okay, and we've got a squishy little marine. And we put on the pack. There you go. Just get a little bit around the edges, a little bit around the feet. Don't know how this is going to lay, but we just put it in. And barely any of the feet are touching. That's number one. Of course, we get number two. And the other guy stuck. So now we have a pair of little spiky boys. I gotta say, if you got the title of Chosen and like everyone around you is also chosen, it certainly takes away from the specialness of being chosen, right? Right, so we have 1, 2, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 models left, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17. We have a lot of the same coming up. Give it a second. Look, I'm just going to have to move around a bit. Ow, 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 ow. Get some blood back in my feet. If you're sitting on a hard desk or on a hard table or a stool, it's advised to do this occasionally. Ow, 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 ow. I really need to stop putting breaks in the middle of these shows, but... So next up is Cultist Champion Anarchus. That's definitely a name. Ow. I wonder it wasn't going in properly. It's the wrong one. So what I need is 26 and 25. That's 25. Now comes Anarchus. And where is 26? Which I'm guessing is this, because it says 26 on it. Let's just clean them up a bit. There's not really much to do on this one. It's going to be pretty quick. That definitely looks like a pin. It's meant to be there, so I'm going to leave it. But I will come back later and make sure. Where's your arm? There it is. Ooh, that is one nasty claw hand on that one. That's one nasty claw hand he has, isn't it? Sorry. Bit of glue on. And into the base. Wow, you really are one of the odd ones, aren't you? So, this one here with a very spiky hand. So spiky hand, boy, goes in with the pile. To be fair, 8 in an hour is not bad. So, do you know the macros are 1 and 2? For people trying, if anyone does try to work it out, it's literally 1 and 2 to change cameras. In a completely unsurprising move, camera 1 is 1. Cultist champion Tekchva? 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 I don't know. And he is formed from 27 and 28 and a base. Now I know as a fact he's in here because I've seen that shotgun 100 times now. So you are 27? And 28 is a cape with a sword. Whee! That one is really starting to run out of stuff to have. Oh, it's a No, it doesn't work on those. That's curious. Whoops. So I was curious, like, because I know it's 1 and 2, but it is only numpad 1 and 2. Okay. I know I programmed it, so I should know better, but... So we're 2 on the feet. Okay, and I think that's about it. So we just stick this on here. I gotta say, that is a lot easier when you have 2 pans available. Just squish that on. This one's not very spiky. I'm almost at the point where this is about as spiky as the Loyalists. Slip that in. Oh, I'm glad that went in. That was relatively tight. And we have a relatively deformed guy who has, well, shotgun and sword, and I cannot pronounce his name. I tried. I gotta say, the Imperials should be getting concerned. They've now got rapidly growing army of chaos in front of them. So, mark off that. Okay, so this one we have 2 models, and there are multiples of them. So we assume 1... Oh, okay, we can't actually just work it out like that. So 113, 114. Okay, so it's 111 to 114, and we just cut them all out. I don't know how many there are going to be, but these are... Oh, okay, there are more instructions. I did not read. I'll save it for the mystery for when they get back, because by the look of it, it's actually 4 models, not 2. So 111. Just get you out. Then damn, you look mean. It's 112. So we need a 114, which... Oh, 113. There's no point hiding. I know you're going to be on here. Oh, that is... It's a spiky mallet. Then the next up is 114, which is basically a gun arm. Okay, I think the Imperials are going to get less concerned about this, because these don't look as menacing as previously. So we go in here and we've got 112. Then 111, which is you. And another base. Then we need 113, which is this big spiky maced boy up here. Grab a base. And then the little itty bitty gun. Okay, there are variants if you want to use auto pistols or combat pistols, but I'm just gonna leave them with what they've got, because heck, I'm lazy. Okay, I am aware that, like, in an actual game, it's important what weapons they're carrying. But for what I'm doing, it really isn't. Swap out for the rounded file. Okay. And you're okay as you are, basically, because it only really adds 1 spike, and that spike is, like, you could see a spike being there, it makes sense, so. to note, these are like table pieces for a board game, so, well, a tabletop game. So, realistically, people would care more about the weapons they're holding, because that specifies what they're capable of. I just not so bothered, because they're display pieces for me. Ow, 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 spiky. It is, if you're going to build Warhammer, expect them to be spiky. Okay, here, get out of here. That's one. Two. And number 3. And that's squeezed in quite nicely. If we go back to number 1 now, and just one little sticky boy. Get another little stabby boy. That's another little stabby boy. Okay, and then we get a mask wearer boy, and another one. Now all the pins on these are slightly off. No, 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 no. You up straight. Okay. So we get the 2 spiky club boys. And we get the 2 stabby boys. And they are cultists of Sect Arcanus. Oh wait, that's the wrong camera. That's the right one. So next up is Chaos Cultist with a Flamer. So any one of these, apparently. So that means it's likely to be on this sprue. And as there's the Flamer, yeah, 30, which it is. Ow. And then 115 and 129. Oh, sorry, 29 and 115. them somewhere where I can see them. I cannot see a body for this one though. So I'm guessing that 115 is in here. There it is. Nuts. Well, that got dropped. Here he is. Okay, and next up, let's clean off the skill gun. It's the wrong file. Okay, and last up. Okay. Yeah, it's getting dirty in here. I need to deal with that. Maybe come around and hoover it later or something. It occurs to me, when I say hoover, most of the rest of the world won't understand what I mean. Look, they run a the brand Hoover run a successful ad campaign in the UK, and basically all forms of vacuum cleaner are now known as Hoovers. It's just, a vacuum cleaner is a Hoover. There are problems for their brand with that, which they don't like. But, and here is Flamey Bob. But if you're going to run a campaign that is so successful that you get all products of that type get known as your product, or known as your brand, maybe you shouldn't have done a campaign that's successful. Okay, so next is Chaos Cultist again. Now apparently there's multiple of these, so it's 103 and 104, which means it's definitely not on that one, and I need to go to that camera. 103, which is you. And 104, which is apparently there's like 6 different versions of this, all of which are separated out, and you can make all of them. You just don't have bases for all of them. And you know what I say to that? Ooh, it's giving me a ton of free models. Actually, I'm quite sure that's not what they've done, because it's like there are a lot of bases left over. Like a suspiciously large amount of bases left over. So let's clean out these. It is surprising, these bases have a lot of overcast on them. Like, with the quality of the casting on everything else, these bases are surprisingly the worst thing in the set. Okay, so you grab your gun and sort of go on like that. Now what I think is going on is that they've only done the image of the one, but all the others are just work it out, do it yourself, damn it. Whoa. Okay, you get on. You go there. And you stay, because you're falling apart. And I don't want that. You seem to be doing much better, though. I think I left the pin a little bit too long in that one. That's why it's falling apart. It would make sense. So, squishy, and you go over there. I've got a big gun guy. And boop. And there's our other big gun guy with a bayonet. Hello, Imperials, how's it feel to be outnumbered? So I'm going to carry on because I have a strong suspicion I'm going to be coming back to them. Okay, so now we need a 115. I've already had one of these, so I'm suspecting... No, I haven't had one of them. And then we get this, which is a 31, which it's supposed to be. And last up is this backpack, which has a spanner on it. I mean, sorry, spanner and a hammer. Crap. Okay, that went right the way into the other side of the desk. Yeah. So I very rarely mention how bad of a mess it is under this desk. Yeah, the microphone is on a stand. Yes, I had to climb under it. My apologies. Ow. 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 Okay, we're not on that camera. Good. That means that I can not worry so much. So let's clean these up. Now, of course, you have to be gentle while doing this because some of the thinner bits will snap off. And clean off the gun a little bit. Honestly, I've looked at that model and I honestly thought he was showing me his ass. I was just like, what? Oh, bad chaos. So we can stick this little bit on the back. So we give him his backpack. Fit eventually. Boop, boop, boop. And there you go. Just a little bit of correction because I missed a bit. My bad. Go around the feet, just make sure that it remains stuck. Then squish it down the base. I mean, all of these bases, the slot in them is cut just slightly off to one side. So I'm trying to get the majority of the mass, like where they would fall forwards. And there we have, I'm assuming, engineer gunny guy. I'm guessing. He's in fact a chaos cultist of the sect of Tetchva with a heavy strubber. There you go. And now, of course, I have 6 spaces left. Now 6 spaces left, that's... So we're running up 2 of each, there's 2 of those. So if we go back here... Okay, well, I'm going to carry on in the manner I was intending. I mean, did I miss some Imperials when I was going through? Oh, I missed some Imperials when I was going through. Whoops. So 89 is so 89, 90 and 91. I don't know how this works out, so I'm going to give it a shot. Well, you're 89, so 89, 90, 91, I guess. 89, 91, 90. And 89, 90, 91, yep. Just it's not that I object to having plenty of extra models left over, but I don't have enough bases for all of this. And I did say I'm making chaos, so 107 and 108. 107. And 108, you're here. And another 107 and another 108 because we've got two of the same. And another 107. I may be objectively making the worst units, I don't care. And the other one is 9 and 10. That's 10 and that's 9. Wow, you are a spiky boy, aren't you? And the last one is another 9 and 10. Oh, you're 106. No, you're 109. Oops. Okay, there you go. I'm trying not to show too much favoritism on this one. Just go through, do some cleanup. My thing is though, I have some extra bases that aren't cut like these, like right the line for the middle. So if I modify some of these, I can probably get like another 2 or 3. I think I've already used one for something, but I can give them some really silly weapons in the event that I just go for fun, right? So the question is, who thinks Kit Bash? I have 3 standard bases left. I think I have 3 standard bases up in the office. On the back. Okay, a little bit on the back, make sure the pack is on. And I do try to coat the centre of the hole that it goes into as well. So on the head and around the arm. So a little bit on there, a little bit in here, a bit like that. And one more. As I said before, these are very much easy mode models. It's okay to have easy mode models. I mean, you've got to start somewhere. If you just start with maximum difficulty, everyone will quit. And I know there'll be people who are like, well, I've been building since I was a child, and like, I wouldn't have quit. It's like, that much we don't know. Did you work your way up to the hard models, or were you just given a model that just wouldn't stick together by your parents and so, yeah, deal with that, and they walked off? Or more commonly, did you receive help? Oh, whoops, I broke you twice. So much gluing. It's okay, you get used to it. It's what you get for ignoring the instructions telling you about multiple models. Okay, so because this is getting a little bit unfair, we have two Imperial Marines to join their Legion. Two dudes with guns and maces. And then two dudes with flails and guns. And of course, the final model of this whole set. The Mortis Metallicus Hellbrute. So this one gets significantly more complicated very quickly, which is fine. I need to not fall over. And that is what all the stuff on here is. I love the fact this has a universal fit on it. It's like, is there like a non-universal fit drill bit? And did they like go out of business manufacturing that after 5 minutes? Right, so we've got to make holes for the pegs. So we've got this cross formation like that, and it is drilled through this one. Sorry, I've got that cross formation. According to the instructions, it's there and there. Okay, and wiggle it through a little bit. Oof. Ow, ow, ow. So, attach the face in first or you're screwed. So basically everything on here that's left is this one unit. it's going to annoy me. It's not exactly a Titan, but, you know. It is the most complicated model in the set, obviously. Ah, okay, that's the separator. Now to clean up that absolute mess of a fast cut. Again, I'm only removing them where I think that it's going to be a problem later. Otherwise, little spiky bits are okay. I mean, it's a chaos unit. You wouldn't really notice. Okay, fine. Like, people who are big Warhammer fans will notice, but I will find my excessive amounts of Warhammer fans, and I don't really know that many. Okay, so the face goes in first. This is important. Do that first. So into the little hole. Change camera. So into the little hole by there. Okay. Now the body goes together. A little bit round there. A little bit there, there. Okay, that was a lot of glue, but for the size of this thing, it's understandable. So rule number 1 now is do not push on the face. If that comes out, we are doomed. Okay, and at this point we need tape. It's been so long since I've had to use tape. Okay, because the top's sticking together just fine, so I'm going to carry on up there, and the bottom's just going to have to remain taped for a bit. So next up, we get this little spiky front bit that it has not told me to put on, but I'm going to ignore it because it obviously goes there, right? And of course the little foot is meant to go on here. And of course having that bit on the front gives me somewhere nice to squeeze that isn't covered in spikes. Always an advantage. Also, somewhere that isn't falling apart. So we just put some glue around that peg and around that. A little bit around the foot so we actually have some grip. And then we can just drop it down because there's nothing else touching. There you go. And one stick. And whoops, that's not supposed to happen. I mean, you can see why they put this one last. You've worked up your skills along the rest of the models to get to this one. And this one is like, oh yeah, this is the actual difficulty of these things. Make these holes in your base, please. Okay, so next up is the other half of this gun. Just go around, glue it. So we just come in here, pop that on there. And now we get this on, which goes over the top, like such. Okay, yeah, like that. If we just wiggle that back off and remove this little bit of spoilage here. I know I use a different name for it all the time. Okay, and a little bit left. Put some glue on there. Okay, that felt like it went in. Let's go ahead and put some more tape on. And we have a very much taped spiky boy. So, the Imperials were showing off last time. I mean, that's the Imperial forces, that's chaos. And we can mark off the last one in here. Chaos were definitely less complicated, but and of course I'm not going to take the tape off of the massive unit until the end, because well, why would I? If I take the tape off now, it's just going to be a mess, and it'll start to separate out because the way it goes together. But if I like how the fact I've been live longer on Twitch than on OBS. So let's just arrange these a little bit. Shouldn't knock them over, and put you at the back. And of course we've got a big dreadnoughty dude at the front. Then we've got the cultists, because ultimately, as we all know, nobody cares about cultists. I'm not putting them in formations, I'm just putting them as I feel like it, to be honest. There's quite a few cultists. I hope that one was dry. We get these ones at the back because they're the jerks in charge, and the jerks in charge are always towards the back. Yeah, and we've got one more because he fell off the back. Okay, nothing fell off, so he's okay. that is one box of army. Think about there, should get most of them. Yeah. It's actually quite a fun few hours to build that. So, thanks for coming. I mean, I have a few more of these boxes to work through, so hopefully I should be okay for a while. But thanks for coming, and hopefully see you next time. Bye.